Gemini, we're going to do a really quick spread that a friend of mine made up. She's called Alicia, so we call it Alicia's spread. It's 5 cards and then we're going to build on that. So, current position, 9 of Pentacles, feeling pretty good about yourself, having achieved what you need on your own, feeling very self-reliant, which is lovely, and like you're enjoying the fruits of your labour. Current expectations, temperance, a little bit of a pause, that's what you're expecting right now. A little bit of maybe a holiday time, but a pause to sort of alchemize things somewhat. The unexpected, 3 cards, the Knight of Pentacles, the 4 of Wands, and the Queen of Pentacles. So this very steady Eddie, Knight of Pentacles, who looks after things and tends to things, is he looking after his Queen of Pentacles? Is there a sense of needing to kind of bougie things up a bit, or that kind of energy is going to come to you, and maybe like a marriage of that energy with this 4 of Wands in between? We'll build on it. That's the unexpected. It's lovely. It's very rooted and productive. Lovely cards. The advice. We're going to take those two. I don't know whether... Yeah, Knight of Cups, they sort of stuck to my hand. Knight of Cups and King of Pentacles. Really lovely. And where it's going, where it's leading. Oh, we've got the 5 of Swords. So what's going on there? A little bit of a fight. So we've got 9 of Pentacles, Temperance as your expectation. The unexpected being these 3 cards. Knight of Cups, and King of Pentacles is your thing, and then this sense of bit of deception and fighting, little tough words. Let's have a look. We'll build on it and see what's going on. So, 9 of Pentacles, where you're at the moment. 9 of Pentacles, where they're at the moment. 3 of Coins. Yeah, although the 9 of Pentacles is a very independent person, maybe you run your own business or you look after yourself in some way, you're good at cooperating with people. There's been some cooperation that's led to this feeling of success, which is great. What your current expectations are, you're having a pause to enjoy life with the Ace of Pentacles, but a new part of life, renewing some love. Maybe you're on holiday with your loved ones. But the unexpected, Knight of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, 4 of Wands, got another 2 cards, got the 8 of Cups and the 3 of Wands. These are both cards of transformation. These are both cards of saying that 8 of Cups needs to evolve something, and the 3 of Wands is not needs to, but wants to expand their horizons, wants to look beyond. So, and the way that you're doing that unexpectedly is with this kind of marriage between a very steady knight who looks after things very well and his queen, who's very bougie and has a beautiful house and needs to be looked after properly. So it's a sort of unexpected dynamic that's arising. With the Knight of Cups and the King of Pentacles as your advice, we've got the King of Wands. It's saying sort of employ some willful magic in order to help this King of Wands and this Knight of Cups. There's a sort of element of service here, but then the good old Knight of the King of Wands is not so servicey, but he sort of adds the spark. But there is an element of being kind of very steady, like the King of Wands, looking after those around you and offering your love. That's your advice. So with that advice, we've got the 6 of Cups, the 2 of Coins, and the Emperor. But he's an emperor who looks like Jesus, who is Jesus. So 6 of Cups talks about returning to what you've loved as a childhood thing, and sibling love and soulmates and deeply connected, innocent in a way, pure relationships. So there's a sense of reinstating those. The Two of Coins, maybe things have been a bit choppy, things have been going one way, 1 minute one way, the next. Maybe your state changes, or your actual physical state changes. And so the Emperor, but with this loving Emperor, this kind of Jesus Emperor, is bringing some order back into this garden to allow the childlike innocence to return in a way, with all these caring cards as your advice. And then the Five of Swords, where it's going, talk to us about that, because that's quite complicated with all this lovely energy. The Seven of Swords. So I thought maybe I'd made a mistake, because the other energy, oh, nice breeze. The other energy is so beautiful, but then there's this sense of, the Five of Swords is an uncomfortable argument, but also in this card it looks a bit hidden. And then the Seven of Swords can be deceit or giving your power away. Here we've got a little boy going up a rope, so he may be the one that's actually, you may be the one that's actually being a bit deceitful, or taking something from someone, or having one over, or there is that element of being careful to look after your power. Is it because there's so much care going on? We're going to build. So they are feeling very cooperative and very successful. And the Hangman. Maybe you've got a new perspective on your success and your ability to do things, which is lovely. Their expectations being, well, now we've got the Ace of Cups with the Four of Cups, so there's some hesitation showing up. So you're having a temperance pause in order to you're having this pause, which is your expectation, or you're wanting a pause in order to reconnect with something that you love. There's a little bit of resistance there on one or other part. The cup doesn't want to be taken. This sort of rare creature, this mermaid, has come out of the sea, and there's an offer of a beautiful, sustaining cup of tea, and she's not sure whether to take it. Interesting. The unexpected, with all this sort of change and reinstating of care, is what we've got here, and marrying these two energies of the knight with his queen feels like that's very important, like a sense of these two becoming aligned again in order to kind of reach to higher, reach to further foundations and reinvent something somewhat, with a bit of passion of the King of Wands. Now we've got the Five of Cups. So these five starting to enter in. Maybe someone's been a bit disappointed, is focusing on what's not right within a relationship, and that's why it needs to be a bit reinvented. She needs to turn around and look at these two, because one side is all sort of barren and the other's all green and blossoming with those two lovely lotuses. Yeah, so somebody's been disappointed. Is it you? And you need to change the way that you see things. And in your advice, now we've got the Four of Pentacles. So the Fours, so it's like hold on to this situation, this relationship. She looks rather ecstatic while she does it, and rises above the village. Use that kind of slightly mystical emperor. Use your spiritual authority in a way to manage this, bring back some of this magic, offer your service, something like that. And then these complicated Seven of Swords and Five of Swords, what's going on there? Now we've got the Nine of Wands and the Tower with where it's going. I'm so confused by this. We will work it out. There's defensiveness and a sense of something not being built on the right foundations, and therefore that's making someone feel very defensive. There's something that needs to be rebuilt. Really intrinsically, is it that somebody's not taking the love that's offered? Is it that somebody's only looking at the negative? despite trying to rekindle something in a relationship. Defensive, worrying about power. Really strange. Okay. We need maybe, let's see what we've got here. That's that. We've done those. Gonna get some more tarot. So they need a change of perspective, or you've recently changed your perspective, okay, on where you're at, which says, you know, you've worked really hard for a long time, and you've been going and going and going, and now you're realising, starting to see the fruits of your labour in a way, it feels like. But then your expectations being to rekindle some love. There's a sense of the morning. In this hidden time of the morning. The dawn, which in this pack is an extra card. But I'm going to pull a tarot as well. Explain to us about their expectations, where you sort of get inspiration or you can do stuff. And with that, we've got the Ten of Swords there's a sense of Ten of Swords is the ending of something and then the beginning again. So there's a sense of reigniting something with the King of Wands again. So reigniting passion. And then the advice being all this care and the Devil. A little bit of passion needs to come in here because we've got two lots of the King of Wands and then the Devil. It feels like, you know, maybe it's even to do with sort of sexuality and passion, needing to bring that into the situation. The advice being the Fool, start again, hold on, start again, do keep giving your care. But where's it going? Come on, give us something. The Hangman. Okay, so that's turned out twice. There needs to be a change of perspective because there's a lot of focusing on negativity here, and there needs to be a change of perspective. Okay. Despite all this love, which is complicated and confusing. Right, I'm going to do one more set of tarot to try and bring this round, and then we'll add an animal card that might help. So these people have worked hard, they've achieved a lot. Now I need to know all my numbers. So there's justice. There's a sense of justice and rootedness. Okay. Their expectations are to rekindle something, rekindle some love, in order to move things round, like the Wheel of Fortune. These have got quite dark images, haven't they? I've not used them before. The advice being, bring some passion and love and service in order to go the right way. This is the Hermit, the 9. Look at all those fireflies. We get fireflies in this wood here that's in front of me. It's sort of lit by the fireflies. It's like it might be, in order to find your right path, it might feel a little bit slow and like you can't quite... Sorry, that wasn't the advice. This was the unexpected, is that you're going to slowly go towards this sense of rekindling something, bringing some passion in, getting the perspective change from disappointment to renewal. And then which way does that go? The Hierophant. This is the advice. Just keep going, being very sort of honourable somehow with this love that you're offering, this trying to sort of bring this new dawn of the Fool. And where it's going, let's see, the 8 of Pentacles. It's a work in progress. a work in progress. There is going to be progress though. So changing perspective, it will happen. Despite all this kind of negativity coming up, when there's so much goodwill, it seems strange. And maybe it's partly on your behalf as well. I was sort of assuming it's the person that you're dealing with, but there's a sense of everyone needing to change their perspective somewhat. It's interesting. Right, what have we got here? Let's try and get some reading on this. But you are making progress in this last round of cards. After all this defensiveness and fights and uncomfortable conversations, there's a sense of progress and changing perspective, and then you start to make progress. Maybe it's one of those junctures in a relationship, work or family or a loved one, where you just need to have some uncomfortable conversations, put in a bit of time. I don't know. Let's see. Animal cards. Tame and attain. That sounds like what you're trying to do. These are really cute. Let me read you these. It feels like you're trying to tame somebody or some energy within a relationship that's not quite there at the moment. Number 28. Horse. When a horse is tamed for riding, she endures countless weeks of intense training. If the trainer is patient, perseverant and trustworthy, the horse eventually submits. The horse is controlled through the horse bit that rests in her mouth. When the rider pulls the connected reins, the horse will follow. The horse bit is in this image represents directed power. Wild horses' freedom, stamina, unbridled passions and primal urges. She symbolises the untamed, the powerful impulses within us all. These impulses look like our intense outbursts, obsessive thinking, binging, recklessness, avoidance and all wild expressions. So that's very much where, now we're getting the breeze, that's very much where all of this energy is being, at the end, is coming towards you, is with sort of wild outbursts, sort of maybe paranoia that power's being lost, that the things are built on the wrong foundations, defensiveness, avoidance, all of these things. All of these impulses hold immense power, but often this energy is directed very poorly. The human that tames and rides the horse represents our highest self directing our personal power. Yeah, so these could be impulses in yourself that you're trying to kind of coax and bring together by kind of consistent action to bring around this kind of Queen of Pentacles thing. And the devil, the sort of wild devil energy that confuses things. But if often this energy is directed poorly, it says here, but the human that tames and rides the horse, which is all of your advice, is just taming and calming and holding on, represents our highest directing of our personal power. Your willpower will be tested, so you must strengthen it. Sacrifice is required. Horse's medicine asks you to start with small things to build your willpower muscle. Stop yourself from saying a hurtful thing about someone. Resist eating the entire bag of chips. Watch something uplifting instead of watching garbage TV. You may feel resentful of the restrictions at first, but it will lead to an expansion of extraordinary capabilities. With dedication, the ego will soften and align with the willpower. Once you have given adequate time to build your willpower, it will become a superior force. Horse's medicine requests you tame inner appetites to become the person you're meant to be. This is horsepower. So maybe we are talking about you. It could be about connecting to somebody else, but it could be also about you, and that you need to use love and patience and that Jesus-like sort of emperor, excuse me, in order to bring these parts of yourself to be the Eight of Pentacles, which is, it's quite interesting that it shows an ape, but with a lotus. It's like, it is exactly what the last horsepower card is saying. It's like, it gives way. Oh no, it's a 7. It's a 7. So it gives way to, it is about keep going. You are being encouraged to keep going, trying to tame the monkey brain in a way, in order to be able to bring out the wisdom and the love and the higher ideals. So it's really fascinating reading. I'm just going to cap it with one card from the original deck. If you do manage to tame and attain your own monkey brain, let's assume it's that, or someone else's that you're dealing with, what will happen? The Page of Cups. Then, with all of that unconscious power behind you, you can start to learn again a kind of form of love, self-love or love someone else, which is still got the unconscious force driving it, like that fish beneath, but is able to offer and become enamoured in a new teenage type way with something in life. I hope that helps. Strange, but really interesting reading. See you again.